Welcome to the Shift Your Reality podcast. I'm Kubra, a spiritual artist, intuitive astrologer, and coach. I channel paintings that help you hold space for your emotions, navigate them, and reconnect with your self-worth. Join me on this journey to self-actualization and discover the power within. Welcome to season 4. I'm so happy to have you here in this brand new season, and we start the season with a very unique guest. And today I have beautiful Lara Pipan Acik with us, and she's a very talented woman. Welcome, Lara. How are you today? How are you feeling?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to this podcast.
Yeah, me too, because I know that you're a super talented person.
Thank you.
I'm sure it will bring a lot of insights to our guests. Can you a little bit explain about yourself, who you are, what you do, and anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, exactly. So I am an intuitive empath. I am a psychic medium, born psychic. I'm also a theta healing practitioner, author of guided meditations. And I really feel it's my life's work to help other people on their path of spiritual growth.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, you do it beautifully.
Thank
So,
you.
is there anything else you would like to mention about yourself before we start to the questions?
I definitely have a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
I'm 35 years old, but I think that I have a lot to offer. Also, when it comes to anxiety attacks for empaths, that's a huge theme, right?
Absolutely.
Many of us struggle with that.
Yeah.
So that's one area that I would say an expert in, because I lived it, healed from it. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very important point that you brought, because we all either hide ourselves and like hide in a cocoon and don't share our gifts with others, and that really kills us. And in the other option, we lose control, and we actually lose it at a point, but it really takes time to come back to our center. But luckily we have people like you and me, and that share their expertise, and I'm sure it will light something within people who needs it. So
I hope so, definitely.
yeah. Shall we dive into the questions?
Let's dive in.
Okay, perfect. So, what effect did your spiritual gifts have on your life as a psychic person?
Exactly. I think it is a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like I said, I was born a psychic medium. So I remember when I was even in the crib, I could not even walk. And I remember me seeing ghosts and not being able to do something about it. So through my whole childhood, I would, see ghosts or people that have passed on. I would feel different energies. I knew when things would happen. Let's say I knew when somebody's going to die. And I couldn't really control it, right? So I almost felt like I am a prisoner of my gift.
Yeah.
Because I had no tools. I didn't know how to work with it.
Yeah.
And I was horribly afraid of that world. I never felt like I really belong here on earth. I was thinking to myself, what am I doing here? I'm so different and nobody understands me. Because back then we didn't talk about that. It's not like today where children are encouraged to explore those gifts. I was just, the odd one out.
Yeah.
And people were looking at me like funny, thinking there's something wrong with me. So I tried to suppress my gifts in a way. I wish that they would go away. But you know how it is. Like they never really go away. It's not you have a turn off button and then you have your peace. No, it's not like that. So I was struggling for a really, really long time. And then at the age of 18, I had a kind of a awakening of some sort. And I decided, okay, I want to try yoga. So I started doing yoga, started to explore, Abraham Hicks. Everybody starts with it, right? Law of attraction. And a couple of years later, I did Theta Healing course. So I learned how to work with the subconscious mind, and that changed my life completely. And it gave me a sense of empowerment because I slowly, really slowly and surely started to learn how can I use my gifts to my advantage so that I was not used by them. And that was hugely, hugely important for me. And I think that that's the thing that we psychics, intuitives, we need to give that to younger generation, those tools, so that they won't have to suffer like I did for so many years. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you want to become normal with those gifts when you're a kid, and then when you fit in somewhere as a normal person, then you start getting bored with being normal and you really miss what you actually have within. And then you again unlock it, but it is like going back and forth many
Exactly.
times, and finally, until you find your talent and accept it as the way it is, then you feel like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. And for me, one of the most interesting thing was, I always receive people for energy healing practices. They ask me, oh, can you help me to open up my third eye or awaken my kundalini, this or that? I don't know what you think about this kind of things, but from the tradition that I practiced, what I learned, you should be ready to open up these kind of spaces like third eye if you are not ready to see when people are dying, or when people have a very hard illness in their bodies or something else, or connecting different dimensions. When you do that at a time that your lower chakras are not aligned and grounded, actually it even creates psychological problems. So this is why I always try to tell people that, okay, you will receive it when you are ready. And as a psychic, what is your perspective on that?
Exactly. I think that you said it perfectly. I have the same opinion, because in the spiritual community, people are focused too much on it, on opening the third eye and the magic psychic abilities. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if you are not ready, when the third eye really, when it opens and when the person is not ready, they can fall into a horrible hole of suffering. And I don't think that people are talking about it enough, because I know it's not so, let's say, interesting to work on the lower chakras, right? It's not fun, but it has to be done, because you cannot build a castle if the foundation is not solid.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, everything will fall apart. And I would strongly advise anyone who is diving deep into that topic to wait. Build a foundation first. Work with your lower chakras. Remove the fears. Work on balancing also the chakras. Strengthening the energy body, clearing the energy body, because so many people, their energy body is either broken or something happened to their energy body. They have attachments also, negative energies. They don't know. And if a person like that tries to open their third eye with all of those attachments and negativity around them, oh my God, they will create a horrible problem for themselves.
Absolutely.
And then it's also, if they don't know the person who can fix that or remove that, they can be then stuck.
Yeah.
I have heard of horror stories, people going, to mental hospital. So that's not something to be played with. Of course, spiritual gifts are are a blessing. Like I said, a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But they are not the point. They are just a cherry on top of the cake. We should focus on something else. And that is to up-leveling us and strengthening our body, our energy body, and also following the path of our soul. Those are the things that are important, not opening the third eye. I mean, it's fun, but it's not end all be all, right? Yeah.
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 Definitely. From my perspective, I have been experiencing astral travel since my childhood, and why I loved energy healing is the energy healing that I do. It's called Cosmo Energy, and since the first day I started learning it, I get the initiations. I don't give up working on that because it really helped me to ground myself and stop that unwanted astral travels. And when people come to me with a request of how can I have an astral travel or open third eye or this and that, it feels like is it really they want it or their ego? Because it is something cool from the outside, but what you do is, especially when we're talking astral travels, I brought it because you said the dark entities and everything around you. So when you do that, you can go somewhere, but when you come back, if you bring that dirt and entities with you, then you have a lot of work to do, and you should know someone to fix it for you.
Exactly. I mean, I love your energy. I think that you are extremely advanced, if I may say. You have a lot of knowledge that people need, and a very, very different kind of energy, mystical, powerful. And let me tell you, I can see the work that you put in, that you work on yourself. You practice what you preach. I can see that because your energy is so pure. And I haven't met a lot of people with the energy pure like yours. So I want to, congratulate you on that.
Thank you so
For
much.
really taking care of your gifts. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lara. By the way, to the ones who doesn't know, I had a session with Lara, and
Exactly.
she knows my energy very well, and it's really a pleasure to hear that from you as well. Thank you for sharing. So, shall we move on to our second question?
Yeah, definitely.
So, as we talked about social anxiety, how do
Yeah.
you overcome that, and are there anything you would like to share particularly that created in your life?
Definitely. So I'll give you a bit of a background, right? My childhood was horribly traumatic, you know. I come from Slovenia. I live in Germany now. So from the time I was born till I was in my 20s, this, trauma went on constantly. So at the age of 15, I moved away from home. Tender age of 15, right? When I now think about it, oh my God, that's crazy. I was a child. So I moved from home. And a couple of months after that, I started experiencing panic attacks. And, the doctors didn't really know what was wrong with me. I didn't even know that those were panic attacks.
Yeah.
And then they sent me to a psychiatrist, and she was like, I think that you have panic attacks. And I was so shocked. I was like, I can't believe that life is punishing me like that, right? Because I come from such a traumatic, background. Then I moved away, tried to save myself, and then I got anxiety, right? I was so sad and so hurt. Yeah, so I was at 15, I had social anxiety. I didn't even go to school for 1 year. I couldn't. I stayed at home. I learned cognitive therapy, right? And that was the first time I heard of autogenic training. That was a child psychiatrist. She was a lovely lady, who taught me that. And what I learned, cognitive therapy, I mean, it's fine, right? But we never dove really deep on why I had anxiety. I was just learning how to manage it.
Yeah.
So the problem was still there. And years later, when I did the Theta Healing courses, I experienced anxiety again. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening again. But now I had the right tool because I just learned Theta Healing. That was like a couple of months prior, but I didn't use it, because I was like lazy. Did the courses, did everything, got my diploma, and then I was like, I'll do it at some point. So then anxiety came again. And what I did was I was started to work on my subconscious beliefs to discover the reason why I had anxiety. Meditation, autogenic training, yoga nidra, those are all the things that really help, but they don't remove the cause, because you have to understand anxiety has a cause.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times it seems like, oh my God, it just happened. It came out of nowhere. Nothing comes out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes it's so hard to recognize the reason why something happened. But if you look into your subconscious mind, you can just, you don't need to do Theta Healing. You can ask yourself or the people watching a simple questions. What happened? I got an anxiety attack. Okay, why? I don't know. I was standing at the bus stop. I got anxiety. Well, what's so bad about that? I don't know. People will laugh at me. They will think I'm crazy. Well, what's so bad about that? Well, I won't be accepted. I'm ashamed of myself. Why are you ashamed of yourself? Well, because I'm not strong enough to be a normal person in this world. And so go on and on and on. And you will literally feel when you will discover the key limiting belief. You can really feel it in your physical body. You don't have to be psychic or intuitive. Every person will feel that when they will discover that key belief that will unlock everything. So, and that's the thing that needs to be removed. And, you should never leave an empty space. So when those limiting beliefs are removed, it would be perfect to download new positive beliefs.
Yeah.
So to fill that gap in, what I'm trying to say, it is possible. It's possible. It can be done. Because people with anxiety, and those are basically all of the empaths, right? Because we feel so much. We feel the energies all around us. And that's the problem with us. We don't know how to bring the energy back.
Yeah.
So the first thing is definitely working on the subconscious beliefs. That's the most important thing is that. And then to learn how to close the energy field, bring the energy back. One really amazing exercise, and it's so simple, right? I learned it from Aaron Doughty. I don't know if you know him on YouTube. He's a lovely guy. He's in his 30s, I think. He has his own YouTube channel, very successful. He talks about those things, and he said, there is a technique with a candle. It's so simple. I couldn't believe it. You take a candle. It doesn't really matter what color, how big, small, it doesn't matter. Take a candle, light it, and focus on the candle flame. And when you focus on the candle flame, you can imagine that you are separated from that candle. You really feel that separation between you and everything else. And just this, it's so simple. This simple exercise can help people to bring their energy back into their body. And it's such a powerful feeling when a person for the first time really feel themselves. Oh, that's how it feels like to just be me, not to feel, 100 other people around. So those, I think, are the most important things, and to know that it can be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that.
For anxiety, what I share with my clients is basically when we take an unaligned action with our nature, it starts giving its signals through anxiety attacks. And it is mostly happening because there is a huge chaos going on within us. So it could be emotional, or it could be emotional, but in the visible lane, maybe we call it something else. But most of the time, when we are not able to see what we feel, what we believe, what we should do for ourselves, as you mentioned, actually, we hear and feel many things, but we're ashamed of sharing those, especially as spiritual people. We channel too many information, and sometimes we really want to share it, but if we are not surrounded by like-minded people, and if we keep all those things to ourselves, to be not to called, oh, such a crazy person or something like that, it really creates an inner chaos at a point, especially for people who are gifted. So yeah, and I really enjoyed this practice. I didn't know it, so I really want to try it for myself, because, as you say, for when you directly tap into your own energy and see what it requires from you and allow it to take the lead, that is where we actually end the anxiety. And most of the time people thinks that, oh, I had a chaotic time, and after that just I felt like, when I was feeling like peaceful and calm, when everything is solved, I had this anxiety. And this is so understandable, because when you were in chaos, and when you calm down, it's like, brain waves, and when you are under attack, it is shutting down all the necessary systems that is going to help you heal yourself, and you just stay alive when there is a chaos. But after the chaos ends, now it's time for you to heal. So when the anxiety comes, I myself experienced that panic attacks and anxiety for a while, and I know that when it is there, the reason doesn't have to be so close to that moment. It could be a triggered past experience as well, but either way, it is telling us that we should have work on something, and some of the actions that we have been taking are not aligned, and it's time to change it. So it's a hopeful thing, I guess. No?
I think that you said it beautifully. You have a very deep sense of what does that mean. You explained it, like I said, beautifully. And I think that also, like you mentioned, a lot of empaths, they're experiencing anxiety because they don't follow their path, right?
Yeah.
But now I started to think that those are our lessons, right? To be ourselves, even if the people around us are not resonating with it. And a lot of empaths, highly sensitive people, psychics, are born into families that don't support them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that interesting? Because we have to learn to step into our own power. It is a hard lesson to learn, painful also. Like you may know, you said that you also experienced anxiety, but it is extremely valuable, because once a psychic person, an intuitive, steps into their power, they cannot be stopped.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that's the missing link, to step into our power. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's proceed to our third question, and I'm so excited to hear that one as well. What advice would you give to people who feel like that they don't fit in? Because we all wanted to try fit in for so long, and what happened in the end?
Exactly right. Because like I mentioned in the beginning, I never felt at home here. I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
That's not my home. And people are I don't understand them, and they don't understand me. And I know that so many of us feel like that. And so many of us try to cover our light or hide our light to make others happy. But I think that the most important thing is to know, if you try to cover your light or try to change yourself, you will never be loved for who you are. Or you will never get the chance to meet people who are like you, who will love you and support you. So for all the young ones out there, I would really, this topic is so important for me. I would really want them to know that they have to, like I said, take their power back, because that's the key. That's the missing key. Stop focusing on everybody else. Because if they know, okay, most of us are born into families that don't accept us, but there is a reason for that. So if we try to fit in, we're going into the wrong direction. And like you said, that is where the anxiety comes and a bunch of other problems also. So a young person should really focus on themselves. Say, what is so special about me? Why am I here? What do I have to share to the world? And don't think about too much, well, I will never meet my people. You will meet your people when the time comes. So don't focus too much on the people that don't support you. They don't matter. They don't matter anyway, because they will not bring nothing to your life, right? They will be your teachers. They will push you to look inside.
Yeah.
So the techniques for taking the power back, techniques for shielding the energy field, cleansing the energy field are hugely important. And once a person does that, the right people will naturally come, because we don't have to then go look for them. Our vibration, our energy will draw them in, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. We should stop looking at all of the wrong places. We should focus on ourselves and really discover what our power is and what our unique traits are. And that's the way to solve many problems. And that's the way to gain confidence, right? That's the way to gain real friends who will love you and support you. That's the way to get recognition, money also. And there is no better feeling in the world than being yourself. Letting all of the masks fall and say, I don't need to pretend no more. And if those people don't like me, then it's okay. It's okay. Not everybody needs to like me. Absolutely. Because I am special. I am not for everybody, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That would be my advice.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, actually. It reminded me of a lot of things. So I'm like going back and forth in between different thoughts, but I think it's very important to remember, as you say, not everybody has to like us. Like we are not meant for everyone. I think it's a little bit toxic as well, because if everyone is gonna like you, it feels like, why? Because we are not hero. We are not here to save anyone, or we are not here to help everybody. So where do we put ourselves and think that, oh, everyone should have like us? We should ask that question. And I also think that it is the patriarchal system that taught us we can only receive what we work for. So we really don't understand what being mind means, because we've been all the time in this doing mind area, and experiencing this being mind, or just existence, and being like an ovary and waiting for the right sperm to come to you. And the last, not very soon, but researchers show that even though this fastest sperm is not accepted by the ovary itself, she gives the impulses if she doesn't like the sperm. So yes, she just stands still, but still has right to choose the right sperm for herself. So why we don't feel that way? Why we don't fully surrender ourselves to the flow of the universe?
I mean, it's amazing what you said, because I think it's considered, if you're in your feminine energy, right, waiting to receive, you're called lazy. Especially as ladies, right? Nowadays, we have to do everything. Take care of children, work, all of those things. Yeah. God forbid that you just sit down and meditate. I mean, you'll be called all kind of things.
Yeah.
And that is horribly damaging for men also, but especially for ladies, because we are not meant to go out and work and, I don't know, struggle. No, because our energy is subtle, right? It's the undercurrent. It's in the background. Yeah. It pulls all of the strings, but it's from the background. It's still, and it attracts feminine energy, and the magic and everything that entails doesn't go out like a soldier and gets things. No, everything comes. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because it's a hugely important topic. Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I always share with my ladies that I don't like this word as well. I alchemize the highest amount of money when I work less and less. So it is like when our feminine energy is in flow, it already knows how to alchemize that money or abundance or opportunities. It doesn't have to be in cash. It can be in the face of opportunities or a holiday or something else. But we know it already in birth. It's an innate gift. So we just need to surrender, as you say, and sit and meditate.
Yeah, exactly. And stop being ashamed for who we are. I think that we as women, we were burned as witches, right? Not too long ago. Yeah, because we were intuitive and we stand in our power. So we thought it's in our DNA that when we stand in our power, the fear is there. Okay, I am going to die. I am going to be punished. I have to hide my power. That's the feminine collective wound. And just now we are starting to heal it. And like you said, that the less you work, the more money flows to you. Exactly. Because you are in alignment with your beautiful, beautiful feminine energy. It's very, very powerful. Because going out and doing things, that's a man's world, that's a man's energy. And they should do that, because that is what they are here to do, right? But when a woman calms down and turns inward, either through yoga, meditation, there are many practices, she collects her power, right?
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens. Exactly. Not giving all of the power away, because a depleted woman will never create miracles, right? She will create suffering.
Yeah. You mentioned it beautifully. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all those wisdom.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the things you shared and the way you shared them. And
thank you.
Yeah, before we wrap up, would you like to share if there's an upcoming program that you're going to host, or any final words that you want to share with our audience?
Oh, thank you. Yes, so I have an offer for anybody watching. On my website, www.laraguidingstar.com, I have my offers. I do coaching, intuitive readings, mediumship sessions. I do theta healing, and I offer 50% discount for everybody interested. Exactly, because I feel like, people watching you, they have desire to learn, right? They want to grow. They want to expand their consciousness. And I know how that feels like, and we need to help each other. And it would be my greatest joy to serve in that way.
Oh,
exactly.
Thank you for this huge discount. I really appreciate for that. I'm sure my audience will love it though. And how they should contact you for that?
They can contact me on my website or my email, laraguidingstar@gmail.com. Exactly.
Okay.
I am also on Instagram, Lara Guiding Star.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we will put some of those links into the show notes. And as you know, guys, you can reach Lara and contact her through Instagram and website from the links that you will find on the show notes. And I'm so happy that we opened this new season with you, Lara. And
I'm so happy also. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your light and being on this show. All right, everyone. And if you are listening to this and if you need guidance, that's your person, Lara Guiding Star. And I promise you're going to like it. I tried it for myself and I know what I'm talking about. And as I always say, may joy be with you. Enjoy. Bye-bye.